You know that feeling, right? Like when you're a small business owner and you've put absolutely everything into this dream.
Yeah.
And you finally hit that point where you realize, okay, I need some help to grow.
Yeah, you need to reach more people.
Exactly. Like, I can't do this all on my own.
Right.
I need help with marketing,
Yeah.
getting the word out.
Yeah. It's a big step, isn't it?
It is. It's huge. And the stakes are so high,
Yeah.
you know? You're putting a lot of trust in somebody to help you grow your business.
Absolutely. You're trusting them with something that's so important to you and hoping they can really understand your vision.
And connect you with the right people.
Yeah, the people who will actually become your customers.
And sometimes that trust, well, it can feel totally misplaced.
It can go so wrong, and the impact is huge. I mean, we're talking about your livelihood, your business.
And that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah, we're looking at a situation that one of our listeners brought to our attention.
Right. One of you guys flagged this news report about a marketing agency called WichiCommerce.
Based in South Korea.
And they were apparently making some pretty big promises to small business owners.
Promises that just weren't kept.
Yeah, and for at least one owner, a beauty shop owner, let's call her A, the reality was just so different from what they promised.
Yeah.
So in this deep dive, we really want to break down what happened with WichiCommerce.
We want to understand what went wrong and what other small business owners can learn from this situation.
Like, what are the red flags to watch out for when you're looking for marketing help?
Exactly, because there are definitely things you can do to protect yourself.
And we also want to think about the bigger picture, you know, the relationship between these marketing agencies and the businesses they're supposed to be helping.
Like, what kind of responsibility do they have?
And how can we make sure that everybody's playing fair?
It's about accountability.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics of this case.
Let's do it.
The article focuses on A, this beauty shop owner in Chuncheon, South Korea.
Okay.
And her goal was pretty simple.
Yeah.
She wanted to increase sales, get more customers coming into her shop.
Pretty standard goal for a business owner.
Absolutely. So to do this, she signed a marketing contract with WichiCommerce.
Right.
A 1-year contract for 2.04 million Korean won.
That's a decent chunk of change.
It is. And one of the things that really caught her attention was that they promised guaranteed sales increases.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what they said. Guaranteed increases.
Wow, that's a bold claim.
It is.
I mean, in marketing, it's really tough to guarantee anything, especially when it comes to sales.
It's so unpredictable.
Exactly. You can't control everything that influences whether or not people buy from you.
Right. So that should have been a warning sign right there.
A big one.
Okay. So WichiCommerce started off by creating this group chat with 19 participants.
19. Sounds like a big team.
Yeah, it did seem like they were really going to put a lot of effort into this.
You'd think so, right?
But over the next 45 days,
Yeah.
they only produced 5 blog posts.
5.
That's it.
Wow. So there's this big team supposedly working on her marketing, and all they manage is 5 blog posts in over a month.
Exactly. And that's a lot of time in the online world.
Yeah.
You know, things move fast online.
45 days is a long time to wait for just 5 blog posts.
And it wasn't just the quantity that was a problem. A was really unhappy with the quality of the posts, too.
What was wrong with them?
Well, she said they weren't showing up in online searches, which kind of defeats the purpose, you know?
Yeah, how are people going to find her business if the posts aren't showing up in search results?
Exactly. And they lacked any real depth or valuable information.
Yeah, they were just fluff pieces.
Pretty much. And here's the worst part.
Yeah.
A felt like the posts were actually damaging her shop's professional image.
Oh, no.
And they had been presented as this VIP targeted content, you know, supposed to attract a high-end clientele.
So it was supposed to make her shop look even more exclusive.
Right, but it had the opposite effect.
That's a disaster.
It is. It really shows you how important quality is in marketing.
It's not just about churning out content. It's got to be good content that actually helps your business.
And resonates with your target audience.
Exactly. Otherwise, you risk actually hurting your brand and your reputation.
Which is exactly what happened here.
Makes sense.
So Ava was so concerned about these posts that she actually reached out to other marketing firms to get their opinion.
Oh, wow.
And they estimated that each of these blog posts was only worth about 5,000 Korean.
5,000.
5,000.
That's a huge difference from what she was paying.
I know, right?
Oh.
So obviously A wanted a refund and she wanted out of the contract.
What did WichiCommerce say?
Well, instead of offering a reasonable refund, they only offered her 130,000 KRW.
130,000.
Yeah, out of the 2.04 million she'd paid.
That's a tiny fraction.
It is. And then they broke down why they were offering such a small amount.
Okay.
They listed all these deductions like a place optimization fee of 200,000 KRW.
Place optimization fee? What even is that?
Yeah.
Exactly. App registration for $350,000.
App registration.
Yeah. Educational videos for another $350,000.
What educational videos?
Who knows, right? And get this, Photoshop staffing costs for $300,000 KRW.
Photoshop staffing costs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Seriously. So Anne felt like these charges were completely made up, especially since she wasn't seeing any results.
It's like they're just trying to justify grouping most of her money.
Yeah, and it just adds to that lack of transparency and these potentially unfair business practices.
Totally agree.
Now, the article also talked about the typical costs for blog post creation in the industry.
Okay, what's the standard?
Well, they said it's usually between 30,000 and 100,000 KRW per post.
Per post.
Yeah, and the price depends on the experience of the writer and the quality of the content.
Makes sense.
So if we think about the potential output from WichiCommerce,
Right.
if they had kept making posts at the same rate, 5 posts in 45 days,
Yeah.
over the whole year, they would have created about 41 blog posts.
Yeah.
41 posts.
And if we use an average cost, let's say 50,000 per post,
Okay.
that would add up to roughly 2.04 million KRW.
Which is what A paid.
Right. So on the surface, the total contract price might not seem that unreasonable. But remember, those blog posts were supposedly only worth 5,000 each, according to other marketing professionals.
Right. So the problem isn't necessarily the total cost of the contract.
It's the value of what she actually got for that money.
You could be paying a fair market price for something that's completely useless to you.
Exactly, and that's a really important point.
It is.
And then there's how WichiCommerce dealt with A's concerns.
Oh, yeah. How did they handle that?
Well, A described their responses as unprofessional and evasive.
Oh,
And she said the CEO was never available to talk to her directly.
that's a red flag.
A big one. When a company avoids communication and doesn't address your concern.
It makes you wonder what they're hiding.
It definitely raises questions about their legitimacy and accountability.
Yeah, it erodes trust really quickly.
And it seems like A wasn't the only one who had a bad experience with WichiCommerce.
Really?
Yeah, the article mentioned that people were posting on social media platforms like Instagram, trying to find others who had similar problems with the agency.
Interesting.
And they were talking about filing complaints against WichiCommerce for false advertising and maybe even fraud.
Wow. So it might be a bigger issue than just A's experience.
It seems that way. The article said that over 20 people were claiming to be victims.
20 people.
At least it shows you the power of social media for connecting people who have been through similar things.
Yeah. It can be a powerful tool for holding companies accountable.
Okay, so let's move on to what the experts had to say about all of this.
All right, I'm curious.
Well, one of the key points they made was that guaranteeing sales increases through basic viral marketing.
Right.
It's pretty much impossible.
Like I said before, you can't just guarantee that kind of thing.
There are so many factors that influence sales.
Market conditions, competition, the quality of the product itself.
It's complicated.
Yeah, so to say that you can guarantee sales just by doing some basic viral marketing,
It's pretty unrealistic.
it's misleading at best.
And the experts also said that regulatory bodies need to investigate these kinds of practices,
They need to make sure that businesses aren't taking advantage of people.
especially small business owners who might not have a lot of experience with marketing.
Yeah, they can be more vulnerable to these kinds of promises.
And the experts stress the need for safeguards to protect these business owners.
To prevent them from falling victim to these deceptive tactics.
So as we wrap up our deep dives into these allegations against WichiCommerce,
Yeah.
there are a few really important things to remember.
Okay.
There was a big difference between what A was promised and what she actually got.
Right, like the disconnect between the promise and the reality.
And there were some serious questions about whether they were overcharging her, especially when you consider how low the value of those blog posts was.
And then the way they handled her complaints just adds to the suspicion.
That lack of communication and professionalism is never a good sign.
And the fact that other people are coming forward with similar stories.
It definitely suggests that there might be a pattern of bad behavior here.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how many other small business owners might have been affected.
It's a good reminder to be really careful when you're choosing a marketing agency.
Do your research.
Ask for references.
And don't be afraid to walk away if something feels off.
Absolutely.
And, it really makes you think about the bigger picture here. Like,
Yeah.
what is the responsibility of these marketing agencies?
To their clients.
Yeah, to the small businesses they're supposed to be helping.
How can we make sure they're being ethical and transparent?
And what role should regulation play in all of this?
It's a conversation we need to have.
We do, because as more and more businesses move online,
Yeah.
the need for effective and ethical marketing is only going to grow.
So it's something for everyone to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for diving into this with me.
It's been fascinating.
Really appreciate it.
And to all of you listening out there,
Yeah.
stay informed, protect yourselves, and keep chasing those dreams.
Absolutely.